Wow, thanks for having me on the show. I think that, what Ice Cube put together is really what attracted me and a lot of NBA legends and all-stars and Hall of Famers. Just the message of 3-on-3 basketball really resonating in the sport of basketball and becoming a very impactful opportunity for players to look up to. I played a lot of 3-on-3. Back in the day, I used to travel with my brothers to 3-on-3 tournaments out of state. We drive to play against the best. We would actually lie on our applications and say we played pro ball just so we could get in the top flight division, so we could play against the pros. And it was just a lot of fun. And really, the game of 3-on-3 helped develop me as a basketball player, because you can't hide in 3-on-3. And then when they're on 5-on-5, you're more equipped to really advance your game. And I think that's what Ice Cube brought to the table, and it was attracted a lot of players, is his idea of Big Three, doing it big, bringing back a lot of the players who may not be able to rip and run up and down a full-court game of basketball for 82 games, but can surely, still play the game professionally at a very high level. Even when I retired in 2005, I was 31 years old, and I had a lot of game left in the tank. I got a lot of offers from NBA teams. I just did not accept any or did not take any of those offers, and chose to remain retired, for family reasons and personal things. So it was an opportunity to get back out there and show that I could still play.
In your opinion, this group called the Young Three, what has that actually meant to you and your brother? You two have a very close-knit camaraderie between each other, and Young Three seems like a very powerful message. What is that all about?
Wow. The Young Three is taking what the Big Three has done for professional athletes and NBA legends and harnessed it with the young kids. Kids play a lot of basketball. I've done camps all across the globe, China, Africa, South America, Israel, Philippines, you name it. And what it does is that it opens up the eyes to kids, who are trying to develop their skills. I don't know how many camps and clinics that I've done where kids are trying to figure out, well, what position am I? What should I, who should I be in a game of 5-on-5?
Mm-hmm.
And the problem with that scenario is some kids are bigger or smaller than other kids when they first start to play basketball, and they're positioned. So if you're small, hey, you're a guard. If you're big, hey, you're a forward or center. And they never get a chance to develop other skills because an adult says, hey, you put your basket, you're down low in the paint, and you're a guard, so you're small, so you're outside. And what ends up happening is these kids a lot of times don't develop other skills, and then when it's time for them when they get older, they have not, been sharpening enough of the all-around skills of the game of basketball to be able to play at the highest level. And what 3-on-3 does, and the Young Three is actually built to do, is it builds all the skills. Because when you play 3-on-3 basketball, you have to rebound, you have to pass, you have to shoot, you have to be able to dribble, you have to be able to set screens and cut to the basket. So there's everything that every player needs to know about 5-on-5, they learn in 3-on-3. I learned it. A lot of the pros and the legends learned it. So in Young Three, it gave us the opportunity to not only teach the game in this particular way, but also show the kids that this particular game has a means to an end. Because in the past, you didn't have a means to an end. What Ice Cube has created with Big Three is saying, hey, you can play professional 3-on-3 basketball. And the kid says to himself, yeah, that's worth it. Let me listen to what they're saying. Let me do the drills that they're saying. Let me work on all of my skills. because you'll still be able to play 5-on-5 for sure.
Most definitely. And I know that you missed the game of basketball in the NBA, but did you ever have second thoughts of retiring at such a young age?
Well, you know what? I was so blessed to be able to play 9 years in the NBA, and every year was a blessing. I never regretted it for a minute because of the time I got to spend with my wife and the time I got to spend with my kids. The NBA requires a large amount of time, and that's the time you do not ever receive back. And when it's all said and done, you either have this great career or you don't. And a lot of times when we're being judged by society, we're always judged on, did you win a championship? Were you an all-star? They have all these accolades that they look at you and put you in a box. And if you don't have any of those, well, you basically just had a mediocre career. Well, I never looked at my career that way. I looked at my career as saying, how many people can I touch? How many people can I reach? How many people can I affect change with? And that's the one thing my brother Johnny and I set out to do when I played in the city of Detroit and all the other cities from Toronto to Chicago to New York. We wanted to get out in the community, create programs for kids that were going to be impactful to help them reach their educational goals and also ultimately reach their ultimate goals of, making it to the NBA or becoming a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, a policeman, an architect, whatever those dreams were. We knew that they had to have education. So we were able to attract them with the basketball skills and the knowledge that they're being, mentored by an NBA player. And that's what I pretty much judge my career on. It's how many lives that I affect. Because a rebound and a jump shot is very temporary. That stat line goes away the minute we play our next game.
Yep.
So one thing that doesn't go away is what you put in a child's heart of showing them how much they mean to society, showing them how much you care by giving them your time. And ultimately that same time is the same thing I value with my own family by, deciding not to play. I didn't never stop playing the game of basketball. I just stopped getting paid by the NBA to do it.
That's, and that hits really home. I wanted to ask you a very, it's a heart-to-heart question. Your brother is a very incredible, very refreshing man. How has he helped you and affected you in your career of the game of basketball?
Wow, Johnny Williams III has been a lifesaver in terms of really just being a visionary. A lot of siblings around NBA players get lost in the shuffle of their siblings' fame, brother or sister's fame. And what Johnny was able to do is actually enhance my fame by encouraging me and developing programs within my name that he was able to create his own brand and for people to see Johnny Williams and not, Jerome Williams. And that was a process that we both, were very much a part of, because I wanted to make sure that he got credit for the things that he was coming up with and the things that he was doing. Mm-hmm. Even to this day, work as a team. I take my step back when he needs to be in the forefront of, the conversation in reference to who came up with these ideas and who helped the young three. Mm-hmm. Who was Johnny Williams? And who's the engine behind it? Well, that's Jerome Williams. He gets out there and he, is the one who engages the kids and